Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to talk about my tank setup and what I do and how I run it and what is actually inside and around my tank. So I'll give you guys a little walkthrough of what I have in my tank. So to start this video off, I'm going to talk about the two main things that you see all the time in my videos is the two sponge filters here. These ones are 300 litre capacity sponge filters. I use them as my primary source of filtration. Two, just having better water quality. I also keep two Maxi 101F internal filters, and I use them just to stick on the glass. I have one down the very end and one here, and I use that just to circulate the water. I don't use them as my primary filtration, but it's there and it just gives me extra filtration, and it also keeps the water moving. Okay, so the next thing I have is two thermometers on each side, just in case one isn't reading correctly. It's always handy to have a backup one, so you're always getting the correct and the most accurate temperature in your tank. So the next thing I'll be talking about is my heaters. In this 3-foot tank I have two heaters, one on each side. I've put them underneath the two internal filters, so that way the hot water will rise, suck up through the filters and get pushed around the tank, and will get pushed back this way in a clockwise direction, always having heat around your tank. So the two filters I have are an Aqua One 55 watt heater on this side, and I also have a 300 watt Aqua One heater. So that keeps my tank pretty warm. I keep them running all the time, even when I do water changes. You can also tell this one's a bare bottom tank because I'm raising juvenile blood pigeon discus in this tank, so they're very messy eaters, and I don't want any gravel or decorations in there that can just build up their waste and uneaten food, which can lead to increases in ammonia, nitrates, nitrites. So I use bare bottom tanks. It's much easier to clean. I just get one of those siphons and suck up all their poo and all their uneaten food, and that's how I run my tank. So speaking of the tank, it's a 3-foot tank long, 2.5 foot wide and 2.5 tall. So that's the tank that I'm running. In the corner there where the discus are, you might not be able to see, but I have 1 to 2.5 inch air stone, cylinder air stone, that just gives more air in the tank, just disrupts the surface, as well as the sponge filters in here doing a good job disrupting the water and keeping my tank well filtrated. I just want to have a second source of oxygen in the tank, so I roll that in the corner and just out of the way. So to actually oxygenate these filters and the air stone in the corner, so I use to power these two sponge filters a Aqua One 9500 dual air pump, and with the air stone I just use a single pump with the 2500 model for that one. The dual air pump for the two filters, they actually have a little dual speed which can go from small, medium or large, and I'll show you the different bubbles, like the amount of bubbles that come out. So on the top of the tank I run full glass sheets on top of here, just to minimize the water surface in here to avoid the fish jumping out. So I use two big full-size glass plates on the top, and then I have an Aqua One 20-watt light that just sits on top. So on the back of the tank, I have just a normal bath towel, just connected on the back of the tank with pegs, just your normal clothesline pegs. I use that on the Discus tank to avoid the movement in this side of the tank, because that's, as you've seen in my last videos, that's the doorway to my house and that's the busiest part. So I've blocked the back and the side of the tank. I also use, as well as using this tank as a grow out tank for my discus, as soon as they get bigger, I will use this as a breeding tank. It's easy to clean, good size, and when I form a pair, I'll be able to move these guys into a different tank so they have their own individual tank. So when I do water changes, I usually do below half, so 70-60% water change every day. I usually do it just below the internal filters, that way I can still keep them on, still keep the heaters on, that way when I add my water into it, it will automatically heat it up because of the circulation going in there, so I don't have a dramatic temperature drop. So when I do my water changes, after I've filled the tank right up, I'll add some aquarium salt into the tank. Just helps the fish improve their gill function and also promotes disease recovery. And I'll also add Aqua One Health Water Conditioner to the tank as well, and it recovers the fish's slime coat, which could be damaged to the stress of water changes. And it also includes aloe vera, which it just promotes the fish's slime coat's growth and just recovers it better. Also neutralizes chlorine and chlorines. So that's in the mix when I'm adding the water to the water change. Occasionally I'll do a bit of potassium permanganate. This is just for new fish when I'm adding them into my tank. This is a fungus and parasite prevention little thing I have here, so I'll add this to the tank if I feel like there is an internal parasite or just a fungus growing in the tank, or when I'm just adding new fish into the tank. So I don't use this all the time. It's bad for your fish if you use it all the time, but I just use it when I feel like, or I see signs of fish having internal parasites. So these are the 3 chemicals that I will use in my tank. Mainly the salt and the water conditioner in my water changes, but yeah, occasionally potassium permanganate. Those are my 3 main chemicals that I use. I like to keep it simple. I don't want to overly complicate my hobby by buying heaps and heaps of conditioners and medications and all that other stuff. If I keep my temperature right, keep my tank nice and clean, add the salt with prevention and the water conditioner, the fish should be fine. Thanks for watching my video on what I have in my tank. Thanks.